recording.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Now you can tell me that.
Yeah. Your father.
Yes, tell me about
One,
my daddy.
that one birthday party
Uh-huh.
that I had, I always thought he was a little brat. He came up and he gave me a necklace, earring, and bracelet set that I still have.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The blue
How
set.
old were you?
I don't remember how old anymore, but he sort of kept it as a thing. Well, he's not such a brat anymore. He's got some fun.
Well, he was the youngest.
Yes, oh, sure.
So yeah, I was
was always-
quite spoiled. I was quite a brat.
He was some fun. Remember when he had a car, a 1927. I don't remember whether it was a Studebaker or what. And couldn't get replacement tires for it. They had to blow out because it was these real narrow tires and they didn't have. They had to fix it. But you got up in their car, it was like sitting in a living room because the seats were like sedan, like sofa chairs.
Oh, really? Was that?
It was fun. And he had a girl. He had a brake job on it, and he had a girlfriend that knew more about the brakes than he did. She did all the work on it.
So is that where he got all his mechanical skill?
Yeah, he did a lot of work on those things.
Well, was your
That's
dad
fun.
mechanical?
Somewhat.
Somewhat.
Yeah, but the boys were all. Uncle Frank was. He even showed me how to make my own dresser.
Mm-hmm.
I got it was really from Sears. They had one of
Uh-huh.
these put together,
Right. Yeah.
and I had to nail it all together. And he watched over that I did it right, and then he made me shellac it.
Mm-hmm.
And wait till it dried, and then rub it down, finish, and put another coat on. It was real. I had that dresser until we moved to California, so it was a long time.
Yeah.
To have it up to Jim. So he was the one that was really mechanical. Of course, little Willis worked in a hardware store.
Oh, okay.
Robert was more the musician. As I said, he played the double bass. It used to be fun watching him trying to get on board the streetcars with that thing in a winter morning.
What did Robert do for a living?
He was an insurance salesman eventually. He used to drive. He drove about 10,000, 12,000 miles a year. So.
Okay.
But after he got home from the service, he took our 7-passenger and made it into a taxi cab. That's
So he
a
likes
lot.
to drive.
Yeah, right. He had to like to drive. He taught me how to drive.
Oh, did he?
He had his old, it was a Hudson with the seat in the back. I don't know what you call it anymore, but
Yeah.
he took me out in the alley and he taught me to back up. He said, if you can back up, you can drive forward any day. So he used to take me out there and I'd put into gear and back up down the alley until I really learned to drive.
That's cool.
Remember my driving test, that was, because we had streetcars in Chicago then.
Uh-huh.
And the fellow got in the car and took me out and had me parallel park right next to the streetcar tracks. And then,
Oh, wow.
and I had to park between the streetcar coming by and the cars and then park in there. I managed to get my license and learned to drive.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't have to learn to parallel park. My dad showed me how to do it because my old apartment, it was a straight and I had to parallel park. He actually showed me how to do it better.
No, we had to parallel park in Chicago to get license.
Most places do, but I got my license in Kansas and
In California, you have to pull out from the curb, and if you don't turn around to look to see what's coming from both sides from the back, they mark you down.
okay for that.
Yeah, because you have to learn how to pull out into the traffic and watch that. But I gotta go for license again next year.
Oh, well.
I don't know if I have to take the test again. I haven't taken the test in so long. Usually send you a a slip saying your license is renewed.
Right,
You
right,
have to
yeah.
just go in and give them the current information, take a
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah, I haven't taken, well, I've never taken a driving test, though, and I've only taken a written test once
Yeah.
in the state of Virginia, so.
And they make you take a written test,
Virginia doesn't, you just go get it.
but you don't have to take the driving test anymore. But we had fun growing up. I mean, the kids used to play baseball and football in the street, and we were right across from Martha Washington Home.
What's that?
It was a hospital and a mental,
That was
regular hospital and another, and it was right across the street. It took up the whole block from Oakley all the way to Western, and from Belle Plaine to Irving Park. And it was fenced in, but the boys used to go over there, just slide under the fence or that, and they'd play football in there, because that one section was all grass. I remember the boy next door one day had his scissors in his pocket, slipped and fell and broke his leg because of the scissors.
Oh,
so,
my.
anyway, so it was, but we played on the street, played kick the can and all
Yeah,
these old
oh, yeah,
those
yeah, we
games.
played kick the can, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna check this and make sure I'm doing this. But it looks like it's recording because the light's
Yeah.
on,
Yeah,
but
we
it's
had
not
fun.
sure. Okay, we're recording, I just wanna be sure.
You had to come in when it got dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. And watched them. But I never had a bicycle.
You didn't have a bicycle?
No, Grandpa said it was too dangerous in the city to have a bicycle, so he wouldn't let us have
Well, I guess with cars, that's probably a true statement.
Yeah, but kids rode them all the time. My girlfriend tried to teach me, and I kept falling off. I think that's where I originally hurt my knee back then. I kept
Falling
falling
off
off
the
that
bicycle.
stupid bicycle. Couldn't get my balance on the darn thing. The boys, Tommy was manager of a baseball team,
Oh, was it really?
and we'd hop in the one fellow's car and all go to the game, and I'd sort of be their mascot or something. And some of the girls down the street we used to go to, and then the only thing he didn't like was the fact that we used to eat shelled peanuts and drop the shells in his.
In his car.
In that back seat, I don't know what you call this anymore.
That's that's a bed.
No.
I think of a trundle,
No.
but I can't, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the back seat was outside, and
Yeah,
they
yeah,
lifted
that's
up.
what I'm saying,
Yeah.
but I don't remember what it's
I
called
don't
either.
remember anymore.
But
But we had fun. I'd go to the games in the park and knew all the kids.
I was wondering about any traditions. I mean, I know when we were growing up, we are, the thing about you take the tree down after Little Christmas, and of course, I guess, that kind of coincided with.
But his mother's birthday was the 5th of January, so we
Yeah.
always waited until the 6th.
Mm-hmm.
And took the tree down after the Three Kings came on the 6th.
Yeah.
But for a long time, in the house in the back, the tree was on the outside porch, and it was cold out there, so you didn't have to worry about it. Just
Right, yeah.
put water out there. And then around the base of the tree, we had the whole village, of little houses that were lit up,
Mm-hmm.
and the train tracks with the trains going around. Grandpa and Uncle Bruno made me a dollhouse.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it had lights. We plugged it in, it had lights, and the one side came off, and then you had Dorothy and Toots made all the furniture and the little clothes and everything
Oh,
else.
how
with it
neat.
out. It was 2 stories high.
Oh, wow.
I don't know whatever happened to it. I think gave it to one of maybe Bob's kids. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Never did find out what happened to it.
That must have been neat though to get that.
Yeah, well, I remember that years. And Papa bought me a doll buggy. It wasn't a doll buggy. I used to put Jimmy in that when he was little and push him. That's how big a buggy it was.
It was a buggy for your doll.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a doll
That
buggy.
wasn't, yeah.
So he was your baby doll when you were little.
Yeah. Well, I was 2 when he was born.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
or 3, I should say. Yeah. I was 3 by that time. So I was able to push him around, get the buggy downstairs and out in front, and walk around the block with him. And,
Take him for a while.
yeah. Oh, he was a good kid at times. But they say we had bunk beds in the back room. We used to, I don't know who had the top and who had the bottom. got bigger, then he went upstairs,
Mhm.
downstairs.
And then you got
Yes.
your room by yourself.
Yeah. They decided I was old enough to have the room all by myself, so moved into the front bedroom. And I had inherited one of Dorothy's. Her dresser was a dressing table. It was two-side, and then in the middle had a big mirror.
Okay.
And had a little chair that sat in there.
Mhm.
It was a real grown-up thing. I had it many years. That's another thing that went to Bob's kids.
Mhm.
And, I don't know where it went from there.
Yeah.
Things I don't know about. I know what happened to my Shirley Temple doll.
What happened to your Shirley?
My original Shirley Temple doll. Came home from school one day. I wanted to play with it. Mama said, "Oh, the cleaner was here and his little girl didn't have any toys to play with, so I gave it to him." Had the original Shirley Temple doll with the curls and everything else.
What was your
And it
doll
wasn't a
to-
small doll, because
Yeah.
Papa always saw that I got a doll about that big, so. But there are things like that.
Yeah.
But we used to go out to Jolieta's and,
Mhm.
maybe once a month or
Right,
something
yeah.
like that. Go to one or two restaurants that we liked out there, and then we go through the Indian Monument Park, or I don't know what they call it anymore. Climb up the rocks and everything.
Was that
else.
all of you or just?
That was the younger ones,
Uh-huh.
mostly Jimmy and myself.
Yeah.
And sometimes Tommy,
Mhm.
Frank would go. Papa liked driving on his day off. And we had fun there. Just all these little things that we used to do together.
I mean, you had some family local, I guess you did, I mean, it was really just you guys, usually like Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, we had
And, well, of course, you had
Dorothy and
Dorothy
Toots were up in
Tootsie.
front,
Right.
and Grandma until she
Right.
died. But Jimmy he used to spend a lot of time with Grandma. Which, he said he learned German talking to her all the time. Grandma used to make wine in the basement.
Mhm.
The basement of their house, we had the wash tubs and everything else. We didn't have a washing machine or anything
Mhm.
else. We
Right.
just used the wringer and that, and then hanging out in the backyard. And then our house it had a dirt basement, and there we kept the oil for the oil stove.
Mhm.
Didn't like to go down there too much. It was dark and spider webs and everything else.
Yeah.
So. But, in their house, they had, sometimes Grandma would have smelt,
Yeah.
they made a herring, homemade herring and stuff
Okay.
like that. And I could never stand that stuff.
Oh, really?
But they had the enclosed back porch upstairs. And we used to have fun going up there. And we'd take pictures. And I remember when I was in so many recitals when I was growing up. And I had to go up there, my hair was straight. And I'd go up, and Dorothy would take the curling iron, and she'd curl my hair. And by the time this side was done, that side was already coming down.
Oh, my.
And it was so straight. But we had concerts, and Tommy played the cornet, and Frank played the piano, and Robert, of course, with his bass, double bass, whatever you called it
Mhm.
at that time.
Did Willis play anything?
No, not that I know of. But he was like Papa. Papa played the best of all, because he played the phonograph. He always had good music. Grandma played the piano. I still have some of her music
My
from the
dad played?
1920s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Jimmy, I taught him a couple songs.
That's right.
But I think he still remembers some. But then he got too interested in other things,
Mhm.
baseball and stuff like that. Boy stuff. But it was fun. It was a good house. Remember Papa Thanksgiving always had his fruit cocktail.
Mhm.
Made the great big jars full of it. Juice went in the refrigerator and the rest went in jars, and we put it all on the porch. And then was like frozen,
Oh, yeah.
because it was so cold out on the porch all the time.
I remember, I guess, because my dad had the right, I mean, we used to do that, we'd get a big trash can, and the
Yeah.
boys would make it, it
Yeah.
was their job. And then you put it, it would be in the freezer, it was good, it was very good.
Yeah, we used to have it in those champagne glasses that you got, the cut glass
Oh,
glasses.
okay.
That's what we had that in.
Oh,
And I
okay.
had that. That was the appetizer for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
We always had to have mashed turnips
Okay.
and sweet potatoes and all that stuff. Papa would, when your kids came over, he'd always have it candy and everything set out.
I do remember a table with candy and
Had
stuff,
everything.
yeah.
So when everybody came, and then we'd sit and watch the parade.
Uh-huh, yeah.
And after that, then clean the table off and set it for dinner.
Okay. I do remember coming over and candy being on the table.
Yeah, always had it. And the kitchen, the table I have in my living room now, my coffee table, is the same kind of table we had in the kitchen at those times, one of those great big round kitchen tables. And Frank cut the base off and made a coffee table out of the one we had.
Oh, okay.
Got from someplace else. It was, I still have that. It's all full of books and magazines right now. But it covers, I mean,
We had a big round table, I wonder if it's just,
Yeah.
I don't remember, I have no idea where when we were growing up, we had, and of course, a Lazy Susan on it.
we used to, I mean, we could sit 8 to 10 people at
Yeah.
that table, so. That's before they cut the kitchen and made the bathroom downstairs.
Oh, yeah.
And then we had to.
You gonna come sit up here?
Hello.
You wanna come sit with me? Why don't you put your hand on Mommy's shoulder? We're just talking, okay?
You
We're
feel
talking
you wake
about-
up, you're all tired, I mean, all fresh now, you wake up. Slept an hour and a half.
That's still pretty good. That's not uncommon for her.
I remember we had that in the corner of Irving Park in Oakley, we had a bakery. You know, they had these great big, the cookies about like that. And chocolate or vanilla frosting, we used to get those. And the butcher shop was next door, and they always had the barrel of pickles, dill pickles. That was our treat when we went shopping, we'd have a
Dill
dill
pickle.
pickle.
Olivia's cousin, or, Cindy loves pickles, she would have enjoyed that.
We'd walk to church and everything, but a story they told me, Grandpa, when I was little, took me, walked me out to the drugstore. And, I guess we hadn't stopped at home first. We were standing in the drugstore and all of a sudden, he was so embarrassed he didn't want to go back in that drugstore again.
Oh my.
I hear these stories, I mean, I heard them, but I don't remember that.
But you spent a lot of, I mean, you've always, I guess, been close with Tootsie and Dorothy.
Yeah, well, they lived right in front of us all the time upstairs, and we're very close, yeah. And I stayed with them, as I said, when Papa was so sick.
Yeah,
I moved in with them, and they taught me how to sew
yeah.
and everything else. I used to make suits and everything else. And I did help with the cooking, and that's where I had that birthday party where Willis came up, brought me the ice cream cake. And that was a big novelty in those
Oh, yeah,
days.
that's
Yeah,
still a,
yeah,
pretty big deal.
yeah. And, I think that was 8th grade, must have been 8th grade that I was, because I remember some of the girls, in fact, the girl I stood up for a wedding was one of the close friends at that time.
Okay.
And they had the people lived downstairs, and then they had the big glass door in front, and they had a little stairway coming up, and then closed down at the bottom of the stairs, and another one at the top, and come up, and go right into the dining room. We had a bedroom up in front, and a living room, and then there was a bedroom off the dining room, and the bathroom, and a bedroom off the kitchen, and the kitchen hallway in the kitchen, and a nice big pantry in there.
Oh,
So I had my own room there, so.
oh.
used to, window was overlooking the gangway and you could look down and the girl next door, she'd have her bedroom near there and we'd just stand by the window and talk to each other all the time. We didn't need telephones in those days.
No, just out the window.
Yeah. She and I had our first Holy Communions together. Her older sister's a nun. And her brother Danny, who was older, and her brother Jack, who was the oldest one.
And her name, what was her name?
Lyden.
Lyden?
Yeah. She's married, she had 6 kids. She's in Chicago yet.
Oh, okay.
Her youngest son was in an accident, and he's been mentally retarded ever since. She lives with her. So. But her husband was a plumber, but he worked in the city sewage system. So. And her aunt, they were married to it was the McCarthy family, Joseph McCarthy of the American Committee. That was a relative of theirs. So.
I guess it's a good or a bad thing.
I don't know, but just that's the Irish connection, and I learned to do the Irish jig with her. Yeah, and all the Irish dances. We stand on their front porch, the wooden front porch, and dance the jig and everything. All the kids had a good time. We didn't have a lot.
No, we don't have to.
We cut it. Our toys a lot of times were just cutouts from the catalogs.
Yeah.
Just played.
Yeah.
That's when you used to play with paper dolls and that. You just kept yourself busy for hours and making clothes and everything.
Using your imagination.
I had so much fun in those days. I don't know. Maybe kids miss out on a lot now
Yeah.
because they have too many things.
We'll have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Well, kids too, there's a lot of activities. Kids get involved in an awful lot of activities. That's true. And if you're home and you're with your family and with the neighborhood kids, then you do those other kinds of things as opposed to organized sports or gymnastics.
They have to take dancing lessons, they have to take gym classes and all this stuff, but there just isn't time for them with kids.
Yeah, that's true.
We're up too fast. We took our time growing up, and we had a lot of fun doing it.
Well, you spent, time with Tootsie and Dorothy, you spent quite a bit of time, when they were older, in Arizona with them, right?
Yeah, well, I visit them. They moved out to South Bend, and I used to maybe stay there for a couple weeks in the summer. And then they moved to Arizona. Francie and Otto moved to Arizona because he sold his business in South Bend. And they used to go every year to Mexico for a couple months.
Oh, wow.
And Dorothy and Toots had to run the business.
What business did he have?
He had, as I said, he made these door pulls.
Oh, okay, so he had a
And
business.
he made office partitions.
Oh,
He had
okay.
quite a few different inventions that he made there. Then when he moved down to Arizona, then they talked Dorothy and Toots to come down with him.
Oh.
But they ended up taking care of them all the time.
Oh.
They had one vacation. The one year I came out there and we drove up to northern Arizona, to Prescott. We spent 2 weeks on the road.
Mm-hmm.
That was hard because he said he didn't have anybody to take care of Fran, because she had Parkinson's by that time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they wore themselves out taking care of Otto and Francie.
Yeah.
And of course, Otto had cancer of the bladder eventually, and then they were up all hours of the night with him.
Yeah.
And took care of Francie, and then after that they sold the house and moved into an apartment, one of these retirement apartments.
Right, yeah.
That was connected with a nursing home, and then Dorothy had the stroke. She ended in the nursing home, and we finally got Toots into the nursing home in the bed near her because she, by that time, she should stop cooking and everything else.
Right.
Because Toots did all the cooking for Fran and Otto all those years. And decided it was better if she got rid, rather than have, she had a one-room apartment in the nursing home for a while.
Okay.
And she got a little sicker and put her downstairs. And then she was doing so fine until she was washing her hands one night. She always washed her hands after everything. Very much that way. And she was at the sink washing her hands when her roommate heard them calling bingo and dashed out and hit her with the bathroom door and knocked her down. She broke her hip, and after that she deteriorated.
Well, yeah.
And had to put her in a nursing home for a while, and then we finally found this real nice home for her. There were only 6 people in it at that time. I'd go down for her birthday party and everything else once or twice. I didn't like going down to Arizona too much in the summertime because it was so darn hot.
Yeah.
It was 110 when you get off the plane. And then after this woman decided to move back with her kids and give up the business, and they found her another home, a very nice home. That's where she stayed. I went down for her 99th birthday. I was with her during the day, and then that evening I got so sick. I ended up with almost pneumonia. But, so Dolores went and they had a real nice birthday party for her. And then she died just before Christmas. And we gone the funeral. That was they had, in January, decided they had the memorial. So I was scheduled to go down, and I had a 9 o'clock plane. LA airport was fogged in. I didn't get out until 1 o'clock. The service was at 2 o'clock. My plane landed at 2:30.
Oh, wow.
So when I got over to Dolores picked me up, took me over to the mausoleum. They have 4 crypts there. They bought many years ago, so they're all buried on the 2nd floor in the crypts. But that's when I discovered that there was 6 years between each one of their deaths.
That's pretty
The
amazing.
strangest thing.
Yeah.
So that's the end of that family. Because Toots was the last one. She kept saying it, She, at 1, had been given a year to live.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was so sick at 1 year old. And here she ended up
Living
99 and a quarter years.
outliving everyone else.
Yeah. Everyone had died before her.
Oh, yeah,
And she left me all her pictures. You want pictures of relatives that you don't know? I've got loads of them.
And they're not, I guess they're not dated or.
Oh, some of them are. I mean, some of them I know who they are. They gave me pictures of my grandma and grandpa's wedding picture.
Oh, really?
My grandpa Mish.
Oh, that's.
So I have that. And my brother Robert looked just like Grandpa Mish.
Oh, really?
They weren't even related. They
Huh,
looked
that's
alike.
interesting.
Yeah.
That is very
So,
interesting.
we're spread out. Willis moved to New Orleans. Robert moved to Melrose Park.
We moved.
Frank and Tommy, of course, lived in the house in Chicago, and Jimmy moved. And moved and moved and moved.
And you moved to California.
Yep. Moved there. Got back. Once I got back one Christmas, I came home. We got standby flight,
Oh, okay.
and we walked home and walked into midnight mass at church.
Oh, how neat.
Told went up to Papa, move over, and he looked as if, what the heck do you want me to do? And then he looked up and saw what
Oh, that's
we surprised him at
Oh,
church.
that's cool.
Mhm. That was fun. But we had, and I loved going to visit Frank all the time, because I'd come to visit him, and he'd sit me down and he'd wait on me like I was going or something. Always, do you want this? Do you want that? And we went out. He always, once a week, he always went out to eat. One place in the neighborhood together. He was a lover. Of course, when Tommy was around too.
I have a question for you. How did you meet your husband, Frank?
I met him at a social. We had the St. Peter's Church downtown formed a club for people over 25, for single adults over 25. And one fellow said, oh, there's somebody here was teaching chess, and he wanted to know if I wanted to learn how to play chess. And I said yes. That was Frank. I met Frank. I met a friend of his, and a friend of his wanted me to teach him piano. So he came over to the house and taught him, gave him some piano lessons. Then Frank got mad. And got together, went out a couple times. I had gone out with some of the other fellows there. One of them used to take me to the opera.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Go over and meet his mother, then we'd go over to the opera. But I was driving at that time because he didn't have a car. I used to pick him up. But Frank had a car, of course. That's where we met.
Okay.
We went out for about, I think I met him in November, and we were married in April.
Okay.
It was a long relationship. And the friend of his that I had been teaching him, he got married on the same day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So now, was your husband Frank, was he Catholic? Was he Catholic?
He's Catholic, but at that time he was divorced. So,
Okay.
so we got married downtown in the judge's
Oh, okay.
chambers. We had, my girlfriend Sally was maid of honor, and his boyfriend was there. Then for honeymoon, we drove around Lake Michigan and went to a couple of coin shows. And met some more friends at different towns that he along the way.
Okay.
I remember the present I got from work, wedding present, was an iron and an ironing board. It was something that needed at the time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it wasn't something you needed.
And then we moved over, we lived on, well, Crawford and Belmont. Was it Belmont? Yeah, Belmont. Second floor up there, apartment.
And you lived there for,
Lived there for about 5 years.
And then you
till
moved to
we moved to California.
so Frank was always, he was always,
And he was, at that
In the
time I
coins.
met him, he was in the coin business, and he was also selling his paintings.
oh, okay. So he's always
But
painted.
He always painted, yeah.
Okay.
In fact, when he was younger, he went to the Art Institute.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But he never had a real training as an artist.
Yeah.
Some beautiful paintings.
Oh, yeah.
He's got some paintings in strange places.
Oh, really?
Got him up in Soledad and
What's the,
there's a prison up in
Oh, okay.
California. He's got, in San Luis Obispo, he's got a couple big wall murals. One in each of the dining rooms,
mm-hmm.
and one in the visitor's room, and then he's got another one, it's a real cute one. It's a picture of a bear in front of a lake with a fish that he's just caught in his paw.
Oh,
And it is real nice, it's on the outside wall there. He's got paintings all over. I know some friends had one of his paintings, many years ago, they had it valued at $2,500.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know, considered worth a lot more now that he's dead.
Yeah.
But Uncle Frank had one of his pictures, painting of a clown.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he had, it's a long picture, and that's the clown standing in the spotlight crying.
Oh,
And
yes.
of course, when Uncle Frank died, then I
Uh-huh.
took that painting. I
Oh,
got it.
yeah.
It's still boxed up at the house. I haven't taken it out
Yeah.
yet. He did a lot of. He did one that I love. It's just two pieces. It's like marionettes
Oh,
on a
okay.
string, and even the tiles on the floor, you could, as if they were very real, just like a photograph almost. It's,
Wow.
two. He did a lot of clowns that were good paintings, and he's got some others, very interesting paintings I've still got in the office. One of these days, maybe get back into the garage and I took a lot of his paintings off the stretchers and sent it to a friend that wanted to look at them.
Uh-huh.
So they're all rolled up in the back of the garage. Maybe one day put them back on stretchers and see about selling some of them.
And that's the best thing for art to be. Is
Yeah,
to
it would be
become
into
someone.
someone else's
Yeah.
home, so that it gets shown. Some of it is really terrific. His folks have some of his paintings too.
Mhm.
Suppose his father will wanna give them to me.
Yeah.
His mother died, so. Better that I have them than get rid of them. Just
Yeah.
nobody.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But you said, yeah, that's how you met Frank, and you said that Robert met Mary,
Mary Jane,
and she was.
she was classmate in
Okay.
school. She used to come around to the house.
Mhm.
They met that way.
Okay.
Well, I was bridesmaid at their wedding. But they were pretty good for a long time. I guess, with his traveling all the time with the insurance.
That's a stress, yeah.
Yeah, it was stressing. We started playing around together.
Yeah, I don't know. I
And
remember.
he was remarried.
No,
Had a couple of kids.
Oh, did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And,
Oh,
Franny,
she had a couple kids?
Yeah.
Okay, they weren't his children?
No, they were-
Okay,
but Franny and the kids still keep in touch with her.
that's good.
It was always friendly after that. And Mary Jane remarried. In fact, this last year was her 25th wedding
Oh,
anniversary.
wow, yeah.
She married a fellow from, I don't know what church. Maybe, I don't know, but she teaches Sunday school now.
Oh, she teaches Sunday school? Excuse me just a moment, come over here.
She's turned completely around. He had several kids, so
Okay.
they had.
They had a house full.
They had a house full.
They had a big house full,
Yeah.
but, well, I
And then
remember.
he was a milk, I don't know if he was a milk man or a laundry man, one of the others, cause he was always up early in the
Oh,
mornings
okay.
and had to get out there.
Okay.
That was too much fun. His name, they call him Cotton.
Cotton. Oh, okay. Well, I remember, I guess, Uncle Frank's retirement party, and I guess that, Robert had remarried by then.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Because I kind of remember him with his wife, but don't remember. I mean, it's kind of a vague memory, big hall, you know,
Yeah.
but I remember.
Well, we had the 50th wedding anniversary too.
That I don't remember. I've only seen pictures.
Yeah,
I've only seen pictures.
yeah.
But I don't recall that at all.
That's
Sad.
the whole family. Willis was there, but his wife Iris.
Okay. I'll have to go
I
back and
remember
look at.
his kids were there or not. I can't recall.
Yeah. I mean, I know my mom and dad have pictures.
I got loads of pictures. You can
Yeah.
get a whole set of them. I got Tommy's and I got Frank's and I
Oh.
got mine.
Okay. I'll take, if no one else is
I've
interested.
got Dorothy's and Tootsie's.
The hard part is knowing who's who.
Yeah. Willis came in and he has friends that lived in Chicago many years and he
Okay.
met them and they came to the wedding, to
Oh,
the
okay.
anniversary.
To the anniversary
Party and,
Okay.
yeah, so. Papa finally got up and danced with Grandma. The two of them had In all the years I knew, they had never
You'd never seen them dance.
No, Mama loved to dance, but Papa was always said he had 2 left feet and he never would do it. So it was so cute to see them at the anniversary party.
Oh, yeah.
Dancing together.
That had to be kind of neat.
Yeah, it was. And all the families and everything else. Madeline lived in Dorothy and Tootsie were there.
Uh-huh.
And Bruno and his wife and Frank's girlfriend Lori was there at the time.
Okay. I remember, I don't know that I ever remember her, but I remember, you know, because she died,
Yeah,
you know.
she had esophageal
Yeah, I was
stomach
gonna
cancer,
say,
but
she's-
before that she'd had a double mastectomy.
Oh, wow. So she,
But he always said that was okay with him. He says that he could buy her any. He'd be so in lumps he liked, he could buy it for her because it didn't matter what size.
he had
They
a
had a
good,
good relationship.
he had a good sense of humor,
Yeah.
didn't he?
And she lived with them, with Tommy and Frank for a while.
Oh, did
Yeah,
she?
she lived with them
Okay.
until she died. But Tommy was very unhappy because Lorraine didn't cook the way that he wanted.
Okay.
She'd boil things that he wanted fried
Right, I
or
was gonna
baked
say.
or something.
Yeah, a bit simpler.
Well, she was the Polish. She
Uh,
cooked the Polish way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he didn't, he wasn't crazy about that.
Yeah, is that better?
That was, of course, Frank with his stamp collection all the time. He had-
Yeah.
And his trains.
Yes,
And
yeah.
then Tommy collected first day covers.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, we had to sell that finally when he did that.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of money invested in that stuff, and if you sell it, you have to find a dealer who are willing to pay.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, he collected because I've
He
seen
collected
them.
that, and then he had photographs of all his trips, all the years he spent in service.
yeah.
He had cameras every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and whenever something new came out, he had it. Had the 3D camera and everything
Oh,
else.
okay.
And all these slides,
Yeah.
photographs. I don't know who ended up with those.
Yeah.
I don't know if Bobby did. Or who.
Yeah, I don't know.
There was so much. And then he also taped, videotapes,
Yeah.
and cassette tapes.
Okay.
So I ended up with a lot of the cassette tapes, and I gave a lot to Mary Jane.
Oh, okay.
Because there were musicals and operas and
Oh,
band
right, yeah.
music and all this stuff. I've still got a big box that I sent home, or sent to the office,
Yeah.
and I haven't unpacked it yet.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't have my stereo set out. It's been packed up since the earthquake.
Yeah, yeah. Haven't had a chance to get all sorts
I
of.
must have at least 300 cassettes,
Oh,
not
wow.
more than that. And I got a whole bunch of videotapes too. And my video machine is also
Packed up.
packed up.
Oh, my. I couldn't go with that one.
Well, I
Was
got
there?
the one Frank had shipped home.
Oh, okay.
But it doesn't have the instructions. I lent it to a friend of mine. She said it worked fine, but she didn't know how to make the remote control work because it didn't have the instructions.
Call the company.
Yeah.
Call the company,
I
they'll
get
send
it.
it to you.
Yeah. So she gave it back to me finally. So now I've got it there.
Yeah, just call the company, they're most.
What I did was buy
Universal.
I guess it's a Sony TV
Oh,
that
okay.
has the video right in it.
Oh, okay.
But you can't make videos of any other program except one, like that one you're watching.
Oh, with the Sony?
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
okay, yeah.
I'll get it, eventually get it all.
Yeah.
Get it, the house is still a mess.
Well, that takes a lot of time, and when you're working like you're working,
Yeah, I'm never
and
home.
you do all the stuff at
And on
the church.
weekends, I've got so much other things going
Yeah.
on. There's always something at church or something, but,
Very full life, that's a good thing.
yeah. I don't have time to sit down and worry about myself.
Very,
Yeah.
well, that's
That's
what
good.
keeps the,
Yeah.
what else are we here for?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else are we here for?
I'd like to get the living room at least straightened out a
Oh,
little bit. Get all those magazines off my coffee table.
Yeah.
Decided I'm gonna give them all away to the senior citizens or something.
Oh,
which,
yeah. Oh, yeah, they'd love to have them.
belong to the group. But then, of course, one day a week, I have community chorus at the school.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And we put on every 10 weeks we put on a concert.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's neat.
Yeah, so.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Christmas time we always do the Alleluia chorus.
Uh-huh.
Do all the high notes.
Oh, wow.
So we have, that's a good diversion. So I get home from work at 5:30, 6 o'clock and have to be at school by 6:45.
Oh, yeah.
So that's one day that I don't have any time to do anything.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And it goes like that all week long, so that's why nothing gets done.
Yeah, but you stay busy.
Oh, yeah. And with this arm now, I come home and I don't wanna do anything, I'm too tired to do anything.
Yeah.
By the time I get
Yeah.
home.
Well, there's a lot of things you really shouldn't do because you don't wanna make it worse.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's the last thing you need to do is make it any worse than it already is.
I gotta get a new washing machine and dryer, so that I don't have to.
Yeah.
I have the washing machine, but I don't have a dryer. Cause the dryer gave out just before the earthquake,
Oh, okay.
and they came to ask about it. I told them, I said, no, it was, that gave out in December, and I wasn't claiming any
Yeah, oh, yeah.
damage for that, so. We got some money from the government, and I got my loan,
Yeah.
SBA.
At least you.
The house is nice, someday we'll get the kitchen finished. Cause all the living at the apartment for almost 4 years, everything had to be packed up
Yes,
in
yeah.
boxes, and it's stuck against the front of the cabinets.
Yeah.
So until everything is taken out and washed,
You
and
can't-
find some place to put it temporarily while
You can't put it
I
back
get
in
the
the
box
cabinets.
out of the front of the cabinets, I can't put it away.
Or you need someone to move it someplace else. You need to
Yeah.
find a space to move all the stuff.
But there's not that much room in the kitchen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, I guess your dining room's probably fairly.
Yeah, but the dining room's full of stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I kinda figured it probably
And I
was.
didn't realize how much I had,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
kitchen stuff, baking stuff and everything else. But when he put in the cabinets, on the one corner, down the bottom, he put in the turntable,
Oh, yeah.
which I love.
Yeah, that's,
But it still doesn't hold as much as it would on the shelves.
oh, that's true.
But you can see what's there, you don't have to.
Gives you a good reason to go, when you have the time, to get
Yeah.
rid of some of it,
Yeah,
if you want.
I have been doing that, actually.
Cause you're not using it now. I mean.
I had a friend came out and she washed a lot of the stuff, and put it
That
away,
was
and
nice.
straightened out the house for me.
That was nice.
Spent a couple of days doing it. And I paid her for it.
Yeah.
But same time, she had to take everything, and she washed it in bleach and
Yeah.
soap and everything else, and then washed and dried it and everything, so was a lot of work.
Oh, yeah,
And, I got had, her husband came out and he put a new roof on my lanai,
yeah.
cause that had that, plastic, wavy clear
Oh,
plastic.
yeah, 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 I know what you're talking about.
And the seams it started would rain in and everything, so he put a wooden roof on it now. It's a little darker out there, but,
You don't have to worry about the rain.
no. And he's gonna put one over my front door too, because that one came down during the earthquake.
Oh, okay.
Never went up. So now, right now, when you stand in the front door and it's raining, you get soaked, but this way I'll have a cover so that I can get out of the car and get right
Yeah,
into that.
yeah.
I can't pull my car up in the driveway because the peach tree was so loaded
Yeah.
that it was, this is down this far to the ground.
Mom, get up.
The branch really bent
Mom.
over through,
Ex-
but it's in next door yard.
Yeah.
No.
Excuse me, what can I do for you?
What you want? You wide awake now?
Do you wanna see a video?
No.
You wanna hear about your grandpa
Do you wanna hear about,
when
do
he was growing up?
you wanna hear about your grandpa?
No.
No.
No. Your grandpa was a lot of fun growing up. He had his dolly too, he used to play with.
Did
He had a rubber doll.
Okay.
Hey,
he?
the heck?
There's nothing wrong with
No.
that.
Like,
And he did a lot, played with cars and everything else, but he had just Dolly too. But he was a pest. 'Cause he was the spoiled baby in the family.
Yeah. Was he mama's?
Oh yeah, mama's baby. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like he was also kind of grandma's.
Oh
So
yeah,
he spent a
was
lot of time with
grandma's,
grandma.
yeah. Because well, he was young enough he could spend time with her.
Well, yeah, actually,
we
that's
were in
true.
school.
That's right. Yeah.
And so she had fun with him again. But she was a very loving person.
Your grandma was.
Grandma. I remember too much, but I remember that. We used to go upstairs by her a lot. Dorothy and Toots always, had the camera out all the time. So they're the ones that recorded almost everything that went on in the family.
Okay.
With their photo,
Okay.
their Kodak, their
Well,
Brownie camera.
That must come from that side of the family, because it's
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, every weekend, she said they had the camera and they were taking pictures of them every weekend.
Our picture taking must come from that side of the family, because we're all picture nuts.
Yeah.
You know, Christmas, the only person at one Christmas that didn't have one was my mother.
Yeah.
So it must be genetic.
It's gotta be.
She has a camera now, but it must be genetic.
Well, look at Tommy, every time a new camera came out, he
Oh
had to
yeah,
have
it
it.
must be genetic.
And he'd be traveling and he'd have a movie camera and a slide camera and a still camera with him, carrying all at the same time.
He must have been strong in his arms.
Yeah.
Must have been strong in his arms.
It's a fun family. Everybody got along well with everyone else.
Well, that's neat. I mean, considering.
Oh,
the
Dorothy
size.
said that
My
my brother Willis, he'd get into temper tantrums and he'd beat his head against the wall and in there upstairs by them.
Uh-huh.
They had the concrete doorstep.
Oh, wow. Maybe
They were
that's
so
where Timmy
afraid
gets
that he was going to
it. Maybe that's where Timmy gets it.
Yeah.
Do you want
But,
to watch Winnie the Pooh?
Of course, he was older by the time I came along. So.
Yeah.
But they said one time I was up there by them and they asked me which was my favorite brother. And I said, or how many brothers? I said, I had only one brother. That was Frank. The rest are Tids.
Tis.
That's what she's always told me.
Oh, so you were very close to Frank.
Yep. Strange. I said we used to have fun. Be sitting downstairs. He'd come along with some ice cubes and stick them down my back.
Okay. Okay, I'll put it in. I'll be right back then, Joe.
Okay.
We'll
What
pause
are we
it.
gonna see?
There we go. We're back.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yep, that's you. That's you. That's you.
That's it.
That's you.
We had fun days. In school, we used to go down the alley, down to the corner, one block over and across the street here at school.
Okay.
It was just about 2 minutes. Wintertime was fun because snow would sometimes be up to our hips,
Oh, really?
walking through the alley or crossing anywhere. But every time we came home for lunch every day. Wintertime, I'm always had hot soup or a sandwich, something like that. Then later on, the school started having, one of the drugstores started having lunches, and sometimes we'd ask a special permission to be able to stay for lunch. Then the school blocked off the street and we played on the street lunch hour. I remember we had a lot of fun in school. We had good times. I won a scholarship to high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was one that they thought the boys would win the scholarship, and I came in the highest.
Oh, wow.
That was the first time all the boys got over.
I bet your brothers were proud.
Oh, yeah. Frank gave me a watch for my graduation. I still have it. Graduate school graduation. And then after that, they were all in service. So years during the, in fact, my senior prom, I went with a sailor. What they did was bring a bunch of sailors in from Great Lakes for the girls.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, some of them had their regular boyfriends, but those that didn't.
Yeah.
So they'd take us to the prom, and
They got to go out.
they went home, and we had to go home by ourselves usually. But we had a good time. I mean, at least we got to the prom.
Oh, yeah.
And then a couple months later, they surrendered in the war. They graduated in 1945 from high school. Went to work. First job was working for a dress designing company.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did you do for them?
Secretary.
Oh, okay.
And then I worked there a little bit, and then they sent me down to their office in the merchandise mart, and I worked for the woman who headed the sales force down the merchandise mart. And after that, well, that was fun because most of their salespeople, they come in and dictate, and they had New York accents, the Jewish New York accent.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun trying to take dictation from these people. I remember one day I cut my finger doing some artwork for them. Darn thing bled and bled and bled. Still got a scar from it, but one of those knives. And after that I went to work for Ward's.
Montgomery
Ward.
Oh, okay.
I had worked there during the school years in the Christmas rush event. Started out in the music department, the music buying department. There's my friend Sally. We're still friends. We're still in touch.
Oh, that's neat.
And then I got a promotion to the.
That's definitely a true friendship to last.
I ended up working for the head of the department. And then I moved up to the hardware department, hardware buying. And eventually ended up working for the head of that department. And then just the year before they put in their pension plan, I quit. There wasn't much, the girls that were working for the higher ups
Yeah.
were all there for 20 years or more. And
Yeah.
I felt that